Have you ever wondered what really separates super successful people from everyone else? It's not always about talent or even working harder. What if I told you the biggest thing holding you back is just the size of your thoughts? That's what we're digging into today, the absolute magic of thinking big. So let's start with a story. Imagine you're at this big sales conference. The vice president of marketing gets up on stage and he's got this puzzle he just can't solve. He asks the room, why is it that one person is earning 5 times more than someone else with the exact same intelligence, the same training, and the same opportunity?
Okay, so the average salesperson in that company, they were making a pretty decent living, about $12,000 a year. And remember, they all had the same training, sold the same stuff, in the same territory.
But then there was this one guy, Harry. And Harry was pulling in $60,000 a year. That's 5 times more. So what was his secret? Was he some kind of genius? Did he have better connections? Was he just healthier? Nope, and nope. It turned out there was only one single difference. And there it is. That's the secret sauce. The size of your success is literally determined by the size of your thinking. But okay, if it's really that simple, why isn't everyone doing it? Well, it turns out most of us are held back by this really common but thankfully curable condition. Is a little thing called excusitis. Yeah, you heard that right. And honestly, it's the quiet killer of so many dreams and ambitions. Now, it's not a real medical disease, of course, but believe me, it can be just as debilitating. So what is excusitis? It's basically the habit of making excuses. It's the mindset where we're constantly finding reasons for why we can't, why we won't, and why we just don't succeed. And the craziest part is, the more we say these excuses, the more we start to believe them, until they literally become our reality. But, and this is the important part, thinking of it as a disease is actually super powerful. Because you know what? If you can diagnose a disease, you can also cure it. This so-called disease usually shows up in 4 main forms. You've got the health excuse, oh, I just don't feel well enough. Then there's the intelligence excuse, I'm just not smart enough for that. The age excuse, I'm either too old or too young. And of course, the classic luck excuse, well, they just got lucky. Sound familiar? Let's break down the cure for every single one of these. And here's the really good news. For every single form of this disease, there's a simple and incredibly powerful vaccine. And you don't even need a doctor's appointment. All it takes is a conscious decision to start thinking differently. Okay, first up, my health isn't good enough. Come on, we've all been there, right? I've got a headache or my back is killing me. We use these little minor ailments as a get-out-of-jail-free card for not chasing our goals or taking on bigger challenges. So, what's the cure? It's actually a 3-part vaccine. First, just refuse to talk about your bad health. Seriously, the more you say it, the more real it feels. Second, refuse to worry about it. And finally, and this is huge, be genuinely grateful for the health you do have. So instead of complaining about a sore back, be thankful you've got legs that can walk. This simple shift in focus basically starves the excuse until it has no power left. All right, next up is a big one. I'm not smart enough. This has got to be one of the most common and destructive excuses out there. We get so hung up on confusing knowledge with actual intelligence. We think that just because we don't have a fancy degree or can't remember some random fact, we're not cut out for success. You know, Einstein absolutely nailed it when he said this. He said, your mind isn't supposed to be a warehouse for facts. It's meant for thinking. Success isn't about how much you can memorize. It's all about your ability to think, to solve problems, to create. So what this really boils down to is that your attitude, your belief in your own intelligence, matters so much more than your actual IQ score. So just stop telling yourself you're not smart enough. It's time to start focusing on using the incredible intelligence you already have in a positive, creative way. Excuse number 3, I'm too old or I'm too young. Oh man, this one is a trap that gets people at both ends of their career. The young person says, oh wait, I need more experience. And the older person says, it's too late for me to start something new now. But guess what? They're both just excuses for not taking action. Just look at the numbers for a second. Let's say your productive life is between age 20 and 70. Well, at 40 years old, you still have 60% of your most productive years ahead of you. Even at 50, you've got 40% of your peak time left. And let's be honest, those are often your most powerful, wisdom-filled years. The math doesn't lie. It is never too late, and it's definitely never too early.
And that brings us to the final form of excuse-itis, the "it's just bad luck" excuse. This is where we look at other people's success and just write it off as good fortune, while our own failures are because of some random, uncontrollable bad luck. Remember that salesman, John, who landed that huge $112,000 order? His coworker said he was just lucky. But come on, luck didn't spend months building a relationship with that client, did it? Luck didn't stay up all night perfecting the proposal. John did that. Success is never an accident. It's engineered, plain and simple, through hard work and persistence. Okay, so we vaccinated ourselves against all these excuses. What's the next step? Well, we have to replace that old, tired habit of making excuses with a new, powerful habit of taking action.
You know, there are really only two types of people in the world when it comes to this. You've got the passive person, let's call them Mr. Wait and Tell. He's always waiting for the stars to align, for that perfect moment that, spoiler alert, never actually comes. Then you have the active person, Miss Start Now. She knows conditions are never going to be perfect. She just acts, she learns, she adjusts, and you know what? She's the one who succeeds. And this whole habit of action, it really begins with the words we use inside our own heads. Just look at this. On the left, you see phrases that paint a picture of defeat. It's no use. The market is saturated. But on the right, you see images of pure possibility. Let's try again. Look at all the market we can still capture. The words we choose literally create our reality. It's a choice we get to make in every single moment. So, we've diagnosed the disease, we've found the cure in taking action, but there's one last barrier we have to talk about, and it's the biggest obstacle of them all. And here it is, the ultimate truth of it all. The barrier isn't the economy, it's not your boss, it's not your circumstances. The only thing that can ever truly stop you is you. The person looking back at you in the mirror holds all the cards. Success isn't something that's just reserved for a few lucky people. It's available to literally anyone who dares to think big enough to go out and claim it. So my question for you is this. When you think about those four big excuses, health, intelligence, age, or luck, which one are you going to eliminate starting today?